I walked out of that relationship. I didn't know how to dress myself because he would dress me. I walked out of that relationship. I didn't know how I liked my eggs because he'd pick my food. I walked out of that relationship with no friends because he told me they were all bad for me. Now I see him as a poor soul. He's a lost soul. He doesn't know what he's doing. The shift is to stop staying in a state of negativity, in a state of poor me, in a state, why did this happen to me, in a state of unhappiness, sadness, living every day with negativity and not bringing the good and attracting the wrong kind of male in your life. Because everybody of my clients feel at peace. Now they can watch their house burn down right in front of them, but they'll be at peace because that's the way it was meant to go. My door has closed. What new door has opened? I'm about to embrace a new change. You see life differently. If somebody is disturbing you or annoying you, you really need to go, well, that's them. And why is this affecting me?
Let your light shine. Help others find their way out of the darkness. Extraordinarily inspiring stories from ordinary people like you and I.
This morning, I was listening to your YouTube videos.
Oh, okay.
One of your meditations.
Oh, beautiful.
I never knew anything about Theta Healing.
Yeah, Theta Healing, yeah. It's a form of meditation. It's because you are in a theta state, and that's why it's called Theta Healing. And the lady that created this overseas, Vienna, started this through healing her body in sickness. So healing cancer, healing real huge medical problems. And she would heal that through this Theta Healing. When you do the Theta Healing, you go up to there's 7 planes.
Yeah.
And on the 5th plane, the mediums and tarot cards read from. The 7th plane is unconditional love. It's wherever you believe in, whether you believe in God, Allah, Buddha, universe, we work from there. It's an unconditional love state in the theta state. It's a place of love and peace. And that's where you come from. You're coming from the heart space. You're sitting and being able to be at peace with everything that's going on around you, able to let go. You're able to see people in a different light too, because everyone's just doing the best that they can with the resources they have. So, if somebody is disturbing you or annoying you, you really need to go, well, that's them. And why is this affecting me? And that's when we go in and shift and work through that.
Okay. And then you did mention a little bit how you got into this space. And then you say during COVID, what made that? You say, oh, I just like to do this.
There was just an ad on Facebook to find your soulmate. Yeah. So they do it through Theta Healing. And what they do is they work through letting go of the narcissistic boy that you keep attracting, and you start attracting. So it's like then it goes into manifestation. You're attracting who you want, And then they told me they actually teach this. And I go, I want to learn it. Because it shifted me big time.
So tell me about what's the shift before and after?
The shift is to stop staying in a state of negativity, in a state of poor me, in a state, why did this happen to me, in a state of unhappiness, sadness, living every day with negativity and not bringing the good and attracting the wrong kind of male in your life, because that's what I was working on. To a state of switch where you wake up every day and you have gratitude for everything in your life. You wake up every day feeling good, or you may wake up with yesterday's negativity, but you can shift it and bring yourself back at peace. And just, today is beautiful. It's amazing. Look where I am, what I've got, who I'm surrounded by, in a state of peace. And it's just a whole different feeling to be able to pick yourself out of that rut and bring yourself into that space of peace, bring yourself back into love, bring yourself back into accepting, you know, my child's ADHD autism spectrum is a narcissist. Being able to accept that, that's my child, that's who he is. I will do the best to, he always says to me lately, he goes, Mum, you're too kind, you're too nice. No one can be that nice or kind. So hopefully this is all rubbing off on him and my frequency starting to change him as well. Okay, and that's what he was brought up around, my negative, his dad, because his dad just verbally abused me. I walked out of that relationship. I didn't know how to dress myself because he would dress me. I walked out of that relationship. I didn't know how I liked my eggs because he'd pick my food. I walked out of that relationship with no friends because he told me they were all bad for me. I walked out of that relationship where I actually left the house dirty for 2 weeks, a month, didn't do the dishes because I would have friends over and he would go along the skirting board or the top of the microwave and says, you don't clean this house. And I was spick and span. And this is like, I'm getting goosebumps. Now I see him as a poor soul. He's a lost soul. He doesn't know what he's doing. And I restrict myself from him. But whenever I ask now for help with my boy, he's there for me. Because I see him differently. I don't go in with, he's an asshole and he's this and he treated me like this and a fucking cunt. I don't go in with that. I go in with unconditional love and sending him. I've done forgiveness all around him, not for his actions. And I see everybody differently. Everyone's amazing. Everyone's got a gift to give. We're all beautiful and we're all just doing the best that we can. And that's what you feel.
Okay, that's wonderful. That's what I want. How was it a repeat with your husband, your previous husband? Was it repeat kind of, did you have like dating wise? Did you date similar kind of people or just him?
He was the most standout because it was 20 years.
So that's a long time.
Yeah, so it's a long time. But I would self-sabotage the relationships.
I'm curious. Yeah, sorry, keep going.
Yeah, I would self-sabotage the relationships because it's very hard for me to be with one person for the rest of my life.
But you're stuck
So I've let go of a lot of, I feel stuck and all this, and now I'm going into a place where universe, I do a lot of shifting. Universe, this is up to you. You show me the signs. If I'm meant to be with this person, you show me the signs.
20 years, that's a long time. And you were in, so what happened? What kept you in there for 20 years?
I didn't see it. I did not see it until a girlfriend of mine, my babysitter, said, Pandy, you do not need to be treated like this, because the abuse was out in public as well. It got that bad.
And then you were just in there and then you just...
And so I thought this was all normal.
That's so interesting.
Because I couldn't see it. I couldn't see what everyone else is seeing. And the thing is, I was numb. So I didn't feel anything. And when it came to the end, it took me a whole year to build up my courage because I've got a 4-year-old child and he took all the finances. He cut the credit card. All I had was my work. And that wasn't enough to go and get a rental and get out. But the thing is, what he did, he made me have 2 cars. I said, we only need one. So I'm paying for 2 regos, 2 insurances. He had 1 car. And the one that he bought me was a Toyota Hilux to tow the horses. And I had my Barina, little zip around car. Now, I wasn't allowed to. I said, why don't we just sell the Barina? I'll just drive around the Hilux. Oh, no, that's just for the horses. So, but they were in my name, which was a blessing because I went up to the Toyota dealer and said, how much will you give me for this? They go, 19 grand in your bank on Monday. So when I built up my courage to do it and had everything planned, I said to him with my child in the bath, because I didn't know how he was going to react, I said, I can't do this anymore. I'm numb. I cannot do this anymore. And he's like, blah, 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 blah. And I says, no. He goes, okay, I'll give you the weekend. So on the weekend with my child, I sold the car. I sold 5 horses. I put 2 cows back in the paddock because they got out. I put all my horse stuff in the horse float and took it to my girlfriend's. And and basically I went to get milk, and he followed me and said, I've been watching you. There's too much activity going on here. I called the police because I felt threatened. And then I moved out and I started rebuilding myself.
Wow. And how long ago was that?
2014. So that's what I mean about not knowing who you are.
Yeah, so that makes sense. Okay, wow. And then he wasn't aware of that either, because
No, I mentioned it a few times off and on, and what his idea was money. So he would send me up to the Hilton to go shopping for the weekend.
okay.
He would buy me stuff
Yes.
and think that it's all fixed.
Yes.
Take me out to big dinners, $300 dinners, and if I didn't say thank you, I got blasted. I just spent $300. And that was his way. That was his love language.
Wow. If you were to describe yourself prior to 2014 to today, how would you describe yourself prior to 2014?
2014, I was living in scared, anxiety, and ego. Today, I'm living in gratitude, peace, and love.
Ego, how would you, and can you elaborate on?
Ego, because I was free from him. So everything I did was to shove it up his ass. So I bought the display home, you could say, when we had the divorce. And my girlfriend goes, so how's it feel to own your own house? I go, I don't know. So that's when I sold that house and moved up to Queensland.
Yeah. Takes courage. I kind of, yeah, that does. And with a little boy.
Yeah, he was 4 when I left his father. He's now 13.
Wow. Congratulations.
Thank you.
It's how interesting sometimes when we're stuck in a situation, we feel like that's the end. There's no way out until we get out of it and then realize that the sky is really, like I often say, a frog in a well.
Yeah.
Yeah, the frog could only see what's in on top of the well, but until he jumps out and then say, "Oh my gosh, there's a lot out there."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So that's really where you want to bring people into.
Yeah.
That little limited space to this spacious.
Yeah. They want to shift to a high frequency. I work with women through self-sabotage cycles, because we all have something, a lot of things we keep repeating and keep getting stuck in that area, getting the same results that aren't serving us. All my healing, as you notice doing them, they're all ranging between 7 and probably less than 10 minutes, because we go in, we shift, we go in, we work, and then we come back to, and it's all about gratitude and self-love and self-respect. And shifting old cycles, because we're working with the subconscious mind, and the subconscious mind is a fight-flight situation. So if something pops up for you again, the subconscious mind goes, oh, they passed that, they succeed, went through that, and they're still alive and they're still here, they're still breathing. I'm going to give it to her again, even though it didn't serve us. And that's how the subconscious mind. So my job is it's like a computer, go into the subconscious mind, delete that, and bring in new programs that do serve you. So when you get to that situation, you're sitting on the fence and you go, okay, and he's here. It's like, okay, this situation, you're hovering, you go, okay, this situation's here again. Am I going to be the old Annie and get the same results? Or am I going to take the new channel and do some new learnings and do it differently and get new results?
Actually, recently, just the past probably 2 weeks ago, or
Yeah.
actually the past 3 weeks anyway. And then I went through, I feel like I was talking to my friends and I feel like I became this old me, or the old me came out.
Yeah.
Interesting. I didn't realize that. I used to be a go-getter.
Yeah.
Everything is how can I get, and I can make things happen.
Yeah.
Because that's the mindset. Because I feel I couldn't rely on other people, so I had to do things
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
And rather than now, I just really let go and let the divine guide me.
Yeah. That's beautiful.
It's much easier anyway. But I didn't know, like what you said about 5 years ago, people told you about to meditate. It's the same, very similar things.
Yeah.
So I would I guess that's my default survival. So when I feel like I need to survive, that kind of thing. So something happened and I feel like, oh, I need to do something. And this the perhaps the old me kind of was in the background, and then now got activated and said, all right, now there's a tiger, let's go run and chase. And then that's how I felt.
Yes.
And then I thought, and then that's for I think last about a week or two actually. And then
Yeah.
I was in this getting and going. And normally I'm very chilled. I just relax and then let it. But for a week or two, I was really in the getting mode and fighting and doing things. Not so much fighting, but doing things.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So, what like in that kind of situation, what would you suggest, and how would you coach me?
Yeah. Well, basically, we go through a form of digging deep questions. So we feel where it is in the body. And we would go, okay, when's the first time you felt that? So you go back to an age, and the subconscious mind will answer it. So you'll just feel a number come up. And then there'll be a situation that you'll be doing. So what we do is we release off that energy, we release off that, and then we bring it through. And then with the digging deep questions, they're core beliefs. So I would chunk it down to what would be the worst thing that happened if you stayed in this fight flight motion. You would go blah blah. Then I go, what would happen next? And you go, and then I'll go, well, what would happen after that? What would happen next? And then what would happen? And then what would happen? And we get a core belief. Now, core beliefs are, a lot of them come down to very similar for a lot of people. So it might be, I'm afraid of being alone. I'm afraid of not achieving. I'm afraid of being judged. So what we do is we shift that. So I'll give you an example of myself with my coach so you can relate to it and understand it, because the core belief is very rarely what you came in with. Yeah. So I have had a fear of heights. So I would stand up somewhere tall, and I'm working with my coach, and she would do the crunching down. I'd stand up there and I'd feel like I'm going to die. I'd cry, I'd curl up into a little ball, and I'd crawl off when I'm up against heights. So she did the crunching, she did the asking, and we got down to, I was afraid of being a good mother. That was my core belief. So we shifted that. And this is what I mean. Sometimes it won't relate to what you're actually doing. Yeah. So we shifted that and we replaced that and through the system that I work. And basically now I can stand up on something really tall. I will get nervous, but I won't feel like I'm going to die.
Last night, I actually had a minute. I don't know if you had possums in your house.
Yes.
We normally have, but last night it's on the roof. It's like really loud.
Oh, they are. They sound like elephants going over your roof.
Oh, so loud. And was like,
yeah,
what it was. And then went out and I got a video camera out, and I saw it's a very big one, actually, not a small, a big one.
Yeah.
I don't know how I had this. So I have always had a kind of fear things.
Yeah.
And I've been working on a lot. And then I thought, oh, wow, I just a possum. I even for that minute, and I feel like, oh, had a bit of fear in me.
Yeah.
And then why am I afraid of the possum? It's really harmless. Well,
Yeah.
general, right?
Yes.
Like your height, and I'm not afraid of height at all. So I would go climb up really high.
Yeah.
And then so you would ask, what would happen?
Yeah. So basically,
Fear.
yeah, the fear would, step into where you're feeling it in your body, and stuff like that. We do, but the chunking down is, what's the worst thing that happened to you feeling afraid of the possum?
What's the worst thing that could happen?
Yes. What's the worst thing that could happen to you being afraid of the possum?
What's the worst thing that could happen? That I don't want to go out in the backyard in
Okay, so stop. You're in monkey mind.
where do I go? Where do I go to?
Okay, so you just close your eyes. You're letting the subconscious mind answer. Now, sometimes the answers will not make sense, but they'll make sense later. So just going into your breath and closing down. So what's the worst thing that happened to you being afraid of a possum? What could that possum do to you?
Nothing really.
Where are you feeling it in your body?
Maybe in the heart, feel a little bit.
Yeah, in the heart. Yeah.
The heart's
And how does that emotion feel?
shrinking, like a bit afraid, not want to close myself.
Okay, close yourself. So what's the worst thing that happened to you if you closed yourself off?
What could happen? I can't experience the beautiful world.
Yeah, and if you couldn't experience the beautiful world, what would happen next?
What came to me is there's so much light, so much beauty, and in my mind's eye, I see what's in my backyard. The
Yeah.
birds, the blue sky, the
And if you
flowers.
couldn't experience all this,
I can't. I wouldn't be able to.
because you closed off and you couldn't experience all this,
I'm in
what would
my.
happen next?
What would happen next? The sky suddenly becomes a bit darker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if the sky became darker and closing in on you, what would happen next?
I'll be a bit scared,
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah. And if you're scared and sad, what would happen next?
I won't be the beautiful me that I am. I won't be able to. While you're talking, I have an image of me curling up as a little girl
Yeah.
in a little. It's kind of one of the things that I have worked. Maybe one of my childhood trauma is being left alone by myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, just feel afraid, abandoned.
Yes.
What would
Okay. Cool.
So what was the question? What would happen?
No, we're finished now. I've got core beliefs. Okay, so we would check that I'm scared, I'm sad. We would check I'm alone and I'm afraid of being abandoned. So we would do some checking whether these core beliefs were here. And how we would do that would be muscle testing. And then we would check them and the subconscious mind answers. So we go through a process of muscle testing. And then what we do is then we go into a state of theta healing and we shift those core beliefs and we bring in the new core beliefs.
Okay. So it's yes and no kind of question.
Yes.
And
yeah.
how do you shift that from no to yes? or from negative to positive to?
Yeah, so the universe hears simple, direct messages. So the way I'd be reading it out is I'm scared, yes. So that's a negative. So when we're replacing it, it'd be I'm scared no more. I'm proud of myself. I am doing the best I can. And we just bring in all this beautiful energy and downloads. So when we finish the actual theta healing, we would muscle test them and they would be gone. So it's like reprogramming. So we're taking out the negative and bringing in the positive. Because our mindset is very powerful. What you think is what you're creating. So you went straight into monkey mind. Yes, we are on a podcast. And yes, you are there for everyone to see. So you've gone into fight, flight mode. Oh, I've got to protect myself.
Did I? Oh, it must be automatic because I didn't even think of
Yeah,
that.
exactly. No.
Right. Yeah, so it must be default. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's it. Yeah, that's your program.
Yeah.
So whenever you're going into monkey mind, I want you to tune in. Is this coming from a space that is serving me or is it not serving me? And breathe and pause. And then step into your heart space. And then say your words from your heart space.
So what you're saying is the first one when you asked me, and then my question that was from the mind, but then when you asked me to close my eyes, and then you start the process, that's more from my heart.
Yeah, from your heart space, and your subconscious mind is answering because your brain took over.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I guess we all.
Yeah. We all do
programming, and it's been rooted for how many years?
Yeah, it's natural.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
it's natural.
Yeah, I'm not blaming myself or anything.
No, you're accepting it. And that's part of process of healing as well.
Yeah.
Being accepting that's who I am. Okay, I'd love to work towards being a better version of me and loving myself more and whatever, is flowing and whatever's coming for you. So that's the first step, acknowledging it. Then the next step is I use with my clients is the word cancel that. So whenever you're thinking of negativity or something that isn't serving you, you cancel it. And then you say cancel that out loud so it can be heard. And then you bring in an unreachable goal or I'm doing the best that I can. Yeah, if you haven't got something to replace it with until you get used to it. Yeah, because a lot of people we go and, I feel you've done the work and you're already processed and you're already above the work of a lot of general people. But we always, even myself, I still need to tune in. You'll have a conversation with your best friend and you'll be whinging about this and whinging about that. Now, hello, you're creating it. You're bringing it to surface. You're giving it energy. So that's when you go, cancel that. They're doing the best that they can. That's who they are. And I'm doing the best I can to protect myself from that negative energy.
So what you're saying is even by like me telling you that, I had this experience and I felt afraid or scared, that's you bringing attention to it.
Yes, you're giving it energy, but we're in a space of workspace. So I'm wanting you to choose that and bring that forward.
Yeah. Okay.
Because we're going to shift it.
Yeah. Okay.
But if you're just having a conversation with a friend.
Yeah.
So what you do is you can allow yourself to say, yes, I'm a little bit afraid, but cancel that. I'm doing the best that I can to understand that they've got their place in my little backyard and I've got my place.
Would that, so for me is I journal, right? When I have any challenging situations or anything that kind of triggered me, I journal. So I write down everything, how I feel, like exactly how I feel. Like when you ask me about my body, how I feel. And then I also have some friends and we catch up every week. Yeah. Then we share everything. For me, I feel like I'm an open book. I can share anything. That's good. So I share everything, whatever is going through my mind or my body. And they're also pretty good at asking questions and or coaches and one of the things they do. So and then somehow for me, it's like kind of a therapy. You just talk about it. For me to write about it, meditate about it and meditate on it. And then that's how somehow it dissolves. So for me, and I guess words is good. Change, reframe it, change wording.
So with that, you're doing the right thing, and it's without you even knowing it, you're sending it love and light.
Yes.
And then you're changing it anyway.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So
so you're going, this is my release,
yes.
writing it all down, and that's great, sending it love and light, and then bringing in what you want. So start your little energy with, okay, that's been sent with love and light. Thank you, Creator God, wherever universe, wherever your beliefs are, and send it off, and then go, cancel that. This is the way I want it to work. How do you want to see it pan out? So I want to love my body more. I want to be able to move my body more. I want to be able to see myself in a beautiful version of me. Yeah. And thank you for taking that and letting that go. So sending gratitude.
I got that, and then I do a lot of like.
I know you do.
I'm a dreamer. So I dream.
I can see that.
Yeah. The question I guess I kind of had was, by reframing, which is good, is that kind of like a holding back, and like you're not letting it go, like you're not telling the whole thing. So for me, is really releasing, accepting everything. It's like what you just said. It's okay. Yeah, I'm afraid. Yeah, whatever happened, I have no idea. But by sharing with you, sharing with people who hold in this loving space, then it's dissolved. And by writing it down, it dissolves. But if I hold on to, it's like I'm not telling. I tell my kids, if you want to cry, it's cry it out.
Perfect. Yeah.
So just release that energy rather than like when I was little. Again, my mom and dad, amazing, no fault. It just how they, they're in
exactly. They just did what they knew how to do.
And then they would say, "Don't cry," it's because crying sometimes can be a bit annoying for grown-ups because it's just very loud and going on and on for kids. But because I kind of feel that like my son cries and I would just hold him. I just hold him. For me, it's also, that's right, he's crying. That's okay. But for a lot of people, I find it's hard. Sometimes even for me, if I'm not feeling 100%, I would like, irritated by it.
Yeah.
It's natural. But then the same thing, it's like when I say, I just want to say whatever I feel without reframing, without saying, just as it flows.
Yeah.
So with your reframing, I understand the process, but would that kind of hinder this, like I'm actually holding on to something, or I'm not really releasing the whole thing?
Yeah. That's your belief, and that's working for you, and that's okay. Okay. What I'm tuning into is you keep repeating that. If you keep repeating that, it's becoming a cycle.
Okay.
That's where I'm at.
Okay. So let it go in just let it go.
Yeah.
And then, okay. So not if that comes up again and again, and it's doing this.
You're staying in the same cycle. Has it served you? No, because you keep repeating it. You haven't changed it.
Okay, gotcha. No, I do a lot of visualization.
Yeah, no, great.
I guess it's a process. It's not like today done.
Yeah, no, I still do it.
So your process when you work with clients, it's obviously not say, you come see Pandora today, tomorrow you're healed, everything perfect.
No, it's a process.
Yeah.
This is no fixed diet. This is changing the way you think, changing the way you feel and see things.
Yeah. Okay.
Stepping into a different frequency, like you're in a love state, you're in that peace state. Yes, you can feel that anger, and it's like, or that scaredness, and it's okay to feel that, because we're all got to feel them. We're normal, but you jump back into the heart space.
Thank you. Theta Healing, is that for body, mind, and everything, or mostly for the emotional trauma and things? Or they're all connected, right? But what's the priority or focus?
It's all connected, and it's like anything that you study, you choose your modalities, what you would like to achieve. You're working with the theta state. So the theta state is just before you go to sleep. And that's where hypnosis is worked from, in the theta state. So we're working on that level, but we're healing anything. We're healing mindset. We're healing, body aches. Like there's a whole thick book of, this is just one of her books. And this is, you know what I mean?
Disease and disorders. Oh,
So that's look how thick that is.
wow.
Yeah. So that's where she started with healing disorders like cancer. You can heal it. I'm working more on the mindset and the emotional, and shifting your frequency. I'm working with a frequency. It's like the laws of attraction, working with women around 50 who keep repeating the same cycles, and we are shifting those cycles and bringing yourself back to love and peace. So these cycles are related to, like, you keep jumping into your monkey mind when you have anxiety. So we would find the core belief of that. We would find the core of why you keep doing that, and we will replace it, and we'll bring you back to, okay, Annie's in this anxiety. What do I need to do? And you go into that process. Or when you think about a self-sabotaging cycle, it could be something as simple as, well, it's not simple because it keeps repeating. You get into a relationship. Now you come from an autistic relationship. You get into a man that's treating you beautifully and looking after you. And this is all unfamiliar for you. So you self-sabotage it and cause a problem within it so you can walk away. Because it's not what you're used to. It's uncomfortable.
Oh, really?
We always go back to what we're familiar with. That's why you'll see a lot of people go back to the same guy, even though they didn't serve them, but because it's familiar and they know what to expect. And this is a subconscious mind working like that. Now, that's not serving you. So my job is to bring you back into perspective of your self-worth and your self-love. What is serving you? How do you want to be treated? How do you want to feel? What makes you happy? And when you know all this, you can share that and bring that frequency into your life.
All the things that you said about the people who go back to the relationship, even though probably not serving them. So that's because of childhood trauma or past experience or the programming.
It can be a whole lot of them, but what it is your subconscious mind going, I know that, I'm going to go back to it.
And do you go back to the history and what?
Yeah, go back to childhood where it started. Like go back, I just did a session with a Theta Healer as well. We went back to age 4, we went back to age 12, we went back to age 50 on all different areas that were making me feel like this, and we shifted it.
Okay. And then so what's the outcome? So if I came to you with whatever challenges that I have, and then after working how many days, weeks, months, and then what's the outcome that I can expect?
The outcome is that you're feeling at peace. You're feeling your heart space. You are seeing everybody differently. So instead of looking, some families are annoying. Instead of looking at the annoyance part of them, you're actually seeing them in a light where they're just doing what they can. So you're sending unconditional love. And then you're able to have a different relationship with them. I have an app as well, creating a website with online courses. But it's not about the online courses. It's about consistently doing a healing every day. It's about shifting every day. It's about shifting your mindset every day. It's about canceling the negative and bringing in the positive. It's about sitting into a space of a heart space, sending forgiveness, not for their actions, but to set yourself free. Sitting in a space of sending someone unconditional love. Doing energetic divorce is the space that you will come out of. Everybody of my clients feel at peace. Now they can watch their house burn down right in front of them, but they'll be at peace because that's the way it was meant to go. My door has closed. What new door has opened? I'm about to embrace a new change. You see life differently.
I think I understand what you mean.
Yeah, you do too.
Yeah.
I know, but you're wanting everybody else to
Yeah,
understand.
to understand. Okay. So for me, it's really that you said about the peace. From the similar things that happened to myself is I feel at peace regardless of what happens.
Yes.
Whether someone likes me or don't like me.
Yeah.
Whether, like what you said, a house burned down. I don't know how I would react actually, but
it's an extreme.
No, but it's really, you may go through the emotions and feel, oh wow, but then you will come back to
acceptance.
Okay, yep, that's it. Accept. Not so much, oh whatever, just give up the hope, that thing, but it's not feeling anxious.
Yes.
Not feeling angry at somebody or
Yes.
God did this, someone did it, and then want to revenge.
Yes.
Kind of thing.
Living in the higher frequency. Joy, love, unconditional love. That's your highest frequency. When we live in anger, anxiety, it's a lower frequency. And that's how we become sick.
Beautiful. And how can people connect with you?
They can connect with me with Heal My Soul. I have an app as well as a website. So the website's healmysoul.com.au. And then the app is healmysoul.passion.io. So they'll both come up. But if you just want to connect with me, jump on Facebook, Pandora Boyle, send me a message, and we'll chat from there. That would be the easiest. Yeah, just jump on Pandora Boyle and send me a message, and we'll chat from there, because I've got also a group I do healing in as well, a Facebook group.
Okay, yeah, that's, I remember you got a Facebook group, and then you also do YouTube.
YouTube, I just throw them in there.
Just
and get a couple of recordings, just throw it in there.
a very good way for people to get an idea and to have
yeah, exactly. So that's just slowly building. So yeah, if I just get a recording, I just jump in there and chuck it in there. Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. Just gonna quickly ask you one thing. How do you work on yourself every day?
Basically I tune into my body. So if we get into that monkey mind, or something's bothering us, I muscle test myself, and I do a quick shift. I do quick shifts in the shower. But if it's something deeper, I'll do the crunching down, core beliefs. I will do a healing, and I would lie down and do a healing on myself, just taking me through the process. And sometimes when I just want to tune out, I jump into a couple of YouTube meditations.
So meditate.
Yeah, so I meditate, and I also go and take myself to the beach, because that's my sanctuary. I go to the rock pools. I go and do something for myself. Sometimes I like to just sit in a coffee shop with a cup of coffee and just watch the world go by. That's a happy place for me. So I find what my happy places are, and I go and do them. Yeah. Or I do every day. Some days I know I've done about 4 or 5 healings on myself because it just didn't shift. And that's my healing meditation. I would take myself through it. I have a girlfriend too that does the shifting as well. So I ring her up and we do work on each other. Yeah.
Beautiful. I love it. Yeah, we all have different things. And so it's really self-care, fill our cup first, and then go self.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
But anything that's niggling me, I'm shifting it straight away.
Yeah.
I'm okay to sit and be okay. It's like, all right, like this morning, felt a bit sad, felt a bit sorry for myself. I know I had work to do. And I just sat on the balcony, had my cup of coffee, just staring at the mountains. And I go, okay, Pandora, get your shit together. click, had a shower, and I'm back in tune.
Oh, awesome. That's a perfect example that we do go through. It doesn't matter how, what a wonderful state are you in. You can also get into some other states, and then you can get out of it very quickly. That's beautiful. Thank you so much, Pandora.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you for sharing your genius. That's what the whole thing is about. It's really like what you said. We all have a gift. We all have talents, and that very unique to us. And then when you come out and sharing your story, and then people find, oh wow, I'm in a boat. I'm just exactly in that situation. Like I'm stuck. I can't get out. How can you help me?
Beautiful.
Let your light shine. Help others find their way out of the darkness. Extraordinarily inspiring stories from ordinary people like you and I. I believe we are all extraordinary, yet we're all ordinary. Let your light shine.